Welcome, everyone. I'm Johan Bergström, Head of Marketing at Codemill, and I want to talk about a topic that happens every day in content operations. You get your subtitles back from the localization vendor. The work is good, 95% perfect, but there is a character name that is inconsistent across episodes, or timing is slightly off, or the positioning doesn't quite match your delivery specs. And these aren't creative problems. They're operational fixes that should take minutes to correct. But in most workflows today, you have one option: send it back and wait. That round trip costs days and hundreds of dollars for what should be a 2-minute fix. And while you're waiting, your whole pipeline is on hold. There has to be a better way, and that's exactly what we're exploring today. I'm joined by 3 people who have been working together to solve this problem. First, Neil Anderson, Codemill Chief Revenue Officer. Neil has over 25 years of experience in this industry, working with solution providers and witnessing how these workflow challenges have evolved over time. And Chris Braller, Vice President of Product at SDVI. And Chris sees the entire supply chain from a Rally perspective and understands where subtitle issues create the biggest bottlenecks. And then we also have Jeff Stedman, Chief Marketing Officer at SDVI, who brings a long career of industry experience, has been thinking deeply about how these workflows disruptions impact the economics of content operation. So let's start with what's really changed in the industry. It's not just that there are a lot of more content being produced. It's that content now needs to reach many more markets. What used to be localized for maybe 5-10 markets now needs to work at 30, 40, or even 50 different markets, each with their own language requirements, cultural considerations, and technical specifications. Plus, studios are increasingly looking to monetize what they already have in their archives. When that library content gets distributed to new markets, it all needs to be localized, often for the first time. And what's even more challenging is the expectation for speed and quality has gone through the roof. Audiences won't tolerate poor subtitles anymore, and global release windows keep shrinking. But here's the reality most companies face today. When you find a problem with subtitles, no matter how small, you send the file back to the localization vendor. There is literally no other option in most workflows. A misspelt name, send it back. Timing that's off by a few seconds, you send it back. And positioning that doesn't match your specs, send it back. And that round trip isn't just time, it's serious money. You're paying for the vendor's time to make the change, do QC on their side. You do QC on your side again when it comes back. So what could have been a 2-minute fix becomes a multi-day, multi-$100 process. The frustrating part is that these aren't creative decisions or complex technical challenges. These are operational fixes that any competent operator could handle if they just had the right tools and workflow integration. What operators want is quick, context-aware subtitle fixes. They need tools that work within their Rally-managed supply chain, not outside of it. But today's workaround-heavy process forces them to break the workflow for even the smallest corrections. So, what if there was a different way? What if you could fix subtitle issues in minutes, not days? What if those fixes happen inside your existing workflow with full cost tracking and automatic handoff to the next step? As it should be. And that's exactly what we've created with Accurate.Video Subtitle embedded directly in Rally Access. So when a work order comes in for subtitle fixes, your operator can handle it immediately in context without breaking the supply chain. But instead of just talking about it, let's have a demo and see what it can do. Neil, Chris, over to you.
Thank you very much. While Neil's showing most of the demo, I'll give a little bit of an introduction in how all of this works, like you said, embedded into a Rally managed supply chain, and highlight a little bit what the benefits of that, what the benefits are of that. So what we can see here is Rally Gateway. It's our essentially operational user interfaces. And what Neil sees on the screen here is a list of work orders. You can see his tasks. Those are 2 work orders that are assigned to himself. If he's done, he could click on unassigned task and click find the next one. They're unprioritized order. And the core of this is that the work order has everything that Neil needs to do his job embedded into it. How's that work order created? A Rally managed supply chain runs, and in this case, what we did beforehand is we ran a couple of subtitle QCs on a couple of subtitle files because there's more than one, and that found some issues, some misalignment, some text too long, whatever the issues are. So instead of basically saying, hey, we need to send it back, as Johan was explaining, let's create a work order. Let's create a work order that has all the information in it straight away. And all Neil needed to do was press the button he just pressed, and it opens up the interface. There is no need to send an email saying like, hey, Neil, please fix this subtitle file. So he goes into another tool and finds the video and downloads the subtitle file and then opens it in an editor that they might have. No, it's embedded, just one mouse click, and he can get straight to his tasks. And when he's finished, when we get to the end, everything is embedded in the response, and the automation and the supply chain and the workflow can just continue. But when it comes to actually what happens once Neil's in a tool, Neil's much better equipped than I am to explain the intricacies of that. So over to you, Neil.
Thanks, Chris. So as you can see, we're now in Accurate.Video Subtitle, and here I can edit and fix multiple subtitle tracks simultaneously. Here I've got 4 different language tracks, and I'm going to fix some of the problems with this English language version. If I just move the timeline up, you can see that I have a range of different auto QC metadata on these subtitles. So as you can see, we've got various issues around timing, the number of characters per second, and various other issues that might need to be addressed during this fixing of the subtitles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm looking for a particular issue that I know is here, which is that there's some problems with some of these captions. They're actually incorrect. So as you can see here, it actually says you're a jerk, Tom. So what I'm going to do is fix this and turn it to replace that with you're a jerk, Tom. So now that's done, but I may also be looking at other areas that I might need to fix up, such as positioning or timing on screen. So again, if I'm looking at something like this, maybe I need to change some of the grammar, but I also want to change the positioning on the screen. I want to change the color of my captions, and I can also adjust things like transparency and positioning like that. But also, as if you see, if I zoom right in, I can also adjust the in and out point of these captions. So I can actually adjust. So I can adjust the timing of the caption on screen as well. And you can see I've got characters per line, characters per second, giving me good information about the timing of my subtitles. And of course, I've also got the audio waveform down here as well. So I can see, hopefully, with as much detail as possible where that speech actually appears on screen. So that's fixing spelling, it's fixing the timing, and it's fixing the positioning of captions. But we can also do this at greater scale. So if I zoom out now, maybe I have a whole range of captions here that need to be retimed because there's a timing problem for all of them, or maybe there's a positioning problem. So I can either hold down the Shift key and I could select a range of subtitles, or I could even select multiple subtitles at the same time if I wanted to. So I can do my selections like that. And then I can go into my timing tool here and actually do a bulk timing adjustment of all of my subtitles at the same time. Again, I've got additional tools like being able to select all of the captions to the left of the CTI or to the right of the CTI. So again, this will help make these as quick and efficient as possible. But also if I've got everything, for example, if I select everything to the right and I know that I need to retime all of my captions to this particular location, I can also say, okay, adjust all of the captions and bring everything in sync to that particular time code. So a couple of different ways of retiming and making sure everything is nice and in sync. But again, maybe I need to reposition all of these on screen so I can do bulk positioning changes as well. Nice and simple. And I can also fit in missing cues as well for that matter. So perhaps I want to put in the title here as well. So adding missing cues, adjusting timing and positioning, and spelling and some sort of colorization and italicization of the text is all great and straightforward. But also if I'm having issues with frame rate conversions, so for example, if there's US content that needs to be broadcast or distributed across Europe, where I'm working in 25 frames a second, I also have the ability to do a complete subtitle conversion from my original frame rate to my target frame rate. And I can apply that to one or all of my subtitles as well. So again, now all of my subtitles are being retimed for the correct frame rate. So that's nice and straightforward too. So those are just some of the tools that we have around Accurate Video Subtitle. It's deeply integrated into the Rally platform now, so it's really nice and easy to be able to work both with the time-based metadata from your auto QC reports, but also to be able to fix up your captions quickly and efficiently in a single application, in a single workflow. Over to you, Chris.
Thanks, Neil. So once Neil hits the publish button in the upper right corner, what essentially happens is the work order on the Rally side gets automatically completed, and the caption files that the Accurate Video Subtitle application writes out are available to the supply chain automatically. So the next step can then take those fixed files, could run another QC if you don't trust Neil's accuracy and his fixes, or essentially send them out straight to wherever they need to be. So once again, the embedded nature of everything within the supply chain is the key here, because like I explained before, no emails being sent, no trawling through applications to actually then find the subtitles and send them somewhere. And while that only might seem to be taking a minute or two, you do that a lot of times a day. That's a lot of time, and that's hours and days of time you save essentially at the end.
Neil, Chris, thank you very much for this enlightening demo. Jeff, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, thanks, Jan. And thanks, Chris and Neil, for that demonstration. As Jan said at the very beginning, it's better to see it than to talk about it. And we really saw it in action. And what stood out to me was really how quickly you could move from identifying an issue, fixing it, and having that fixed, ready for delivery, ready for air version of the file that automatically is flowing back into the supply chain. Never really left the supply chain for people to get their work done. So when you think about media operations departments, this is really a game changer. I mean, for less than the cost of a cup of coffee, you're going to fix subtitle issues in-house that would otherwise have costed you days of time to send out to have someone else fix, and probably also saved hundreds of dollars in vendor fees. So I really see this as a new way of working for operations departments that want the ability to fix things themselves without having to rely on another organization to do that. And it really should speed things up. Jan, you talked about the growing amount of content that is going to a global audience and needs multiple language subtitling and captioning. So this sort of quick turn fixing capability seems to me to be something that's just going to grow in demand as more content gets pushed out around the world.
Yes, and we should also mention that this is Accurate Video Subtitle is one of several Accurate Video apps available on the Rally platform. You have Validate as well, and Edit, which we may come back to in future videos.
No, that's an important point, Johan, because all of the Accurate Video suite of products are tightly integrated with the Rally platform, meaning that you can activate sessions from work orders. And what that means fundamentally is operations teams can do more of the work themselves, whether that's subtitle fixes that we just went through, or whether that's compliance edits using the edit tool, whether that's QC validation using your validate tool. All of those steps in the media operations process can be done as part of a well-managed, mostly automated supply chain in taking advantage of the Rally platform and the Accurate Video suite.
Very good. Neil, Chris, any final words?
Just from my end, going into the same direction as Jeff, this is just as deeply integrated as the other applications we already have and Success Video running in production for many years. For the Rally customers out there that are watching this, if you want to try it, just reach out. The parameters around the work orders are very, very similar to the other two tools. It will take you no time at all to get started on here. So, and it takes you less time to get started on here than it takes you to fix a single subtitle file today.
Yeah, and I was just going to add that, we've spent a lot of time listening to customer feedback around the challenges of solving subtitling caption problems in-house and trying to make that user experience as efficient and as elegant as possible. And hopefully we've achieved that with Accurate Video Subtitle on Rally.
And please reach out if you want to know more, you want to get started, or just want to chat. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us.